So we're really excited today to have you here and to see some of our work in writing. Writing is a big goal for us. And today what you're going to see is our ELL teacher, Sue Crane, in a second grade class where we have worked to bring a lot of our ELL students into this classroom so that we can deliver some really good instruction. And that's the goal, is how do we group kids to deliver good instruction? So our ELL population is fairly high, and one of the things that Park is fairly well known for is its tri-ethnic grouping. So we have Caucasian, we have our Hispanic, and we have a large number of Native Americans. And with that comes some ELL challenges. And what we've done really well, I think, is that we've determined the needs of those students, and then what we do is we use a lot of our assessment data to determine what good first instruction would be for those students. What you'll see today is a SIOP lesson, which is a sheltered instruction model, and some of the pre-work to that is using pictures to help students understand the vocabulary, and also using some modeling of different types of writing, and they're using the expository writing for this instruction that you're going to see today.
Well, we have been writing multi-paragraph essays about habitats in our classroom, and the other day I was noticing that a lot of my kids were struggling with writing conclusions, and they were just kind of writing generic ones, and so that's when I went to Sue, and we co-teach every Friday actually. So when we sat down and we planned this lesson, we had a purpose of really coming up with how to get these kids to write good quality conclusions. We kind of came up with this idea to do a circular type of a cycle where they could see that a nonfiction piece really has to wrap around back to the topic sentence.
We realized they really had to grasp main idea keywords. They had to understand what those words were. So throughout the last several days, Lindsay's given them that explicit vocabulary instruction with my support on visuals, so she could use those visuals to make sure the kids understood those main idea keywords. We knew that they needed a place to write them so they could see them on that graphic organizer and bring them down. And like Lindsay said, be able to understand that the introduction is so closely related to that conclusion.
Sue is our ELL teacher, and I happen to have the ELL cluster of kids in second grade in this class. And so we kind of came together at the beginning of the year and said, let's experiment with this. We've always taught well together when I was coaching and coming into her classroom. And so we decided that she would push into the classroom during writing, and that has been phenomenal. We sit down every Wednesday during our lunch and we plan out what we're going to teach on Friday. I tell her where the class is and what, based on the data that they're showing me and the work that they're giving me, that's kind of how we base our lessons, and then she brings in that ELL mind. It's a great relationship. I really believe in this co-teaching model. I think the most important part about it, though, is the planning piece, that you have to have time to sit down and plan with your co-teacher. If you don't have that, then one person's teaching and the other person is just going along with the show. But it helps that we have that time on Wednesday. We eat our lunch together and we really sit and make, we do a full-on lesson plan, and that really does help us. And not only does it help, I think, for that lesson, but it helps me throughout the whole week. I know where I'm headed. I know what I need her to help me with, so it really helps with my planning for the whole week to make sure that those writing lessons are rich and deep.
I have one other teacher here that I'm co-teaching with weekly, and just like Lindsay said, it won't happen unless there's that structured time to meet. And that has been so helpful. If you don't have the planning time, you're not going to co-teach effectively.
All right, well, let's begin. Hi, Mrs. Crane.
Hi.
I'm so glad you're here today. I need a writing partner. Will you be my writing partner?
Happy to be your writing partner.
So, our class has been working really hard on writing essays all about our habitats, haven't we, guys?
Yes.
And I am so proud of the work that I've done. I wrote an introduction paragraph. Nod your head if you wrote an introduction paragraph. I wrote a paragraph about an animal. I wrote a paragraph about my plant.
Which is
And then I also, Blasia, I also wrote a sentence that's going to be my conclusion. And I'm really excited about it. But then yesterday, when we were talking as a class, I started to think that I didn't do it exactly the way that I want to do it. So I think I need some help with my conclusion. Will you help me with that?
I'd be happy to
So
help you.
how about if I read my report to you,
Okay.
and then I'll read you my conclusion, and I'll tell you what I did really well with my conclusion, but then I'll tell you what I think I need help with. Does that sound good? Did you know more than half of the animals in our world live in the beautiful habitat of the rainforest? An equally important living thing in a rainforest is a plant called the bird of paradise. This plant actually looks like a bird with a beak. The rainforest is a perfect home for the bird of paradise. Now for my conclusion. Are you guys ready? That is all I know about the rainforest.
No.
It's not so good, right? Can I show you why I wrote that? Yeah. One or more sentences. I just wrote one this time. It has conventions. If you looked at my paper, I have capitals and I have a period. It kind of wraps it up, but not really. And then here it says, goes back to the main idea. And Mrs. Crane, that's the part that I don't think I did very good.
Okay, so we are going to help Mrs. Nyman write the best conclusion that she can. Okay. I'll show you this great trick of how to write a good conclusion. So in a little bit, you're going to get an organizer that looks like this, okay? Up at the top, it's going to say main idea keywords. Oh, you already have main idea keywords from your report, from your essay, that part. But you are going to spend time here in the conclusion part. I want you to notice that this goes around and around and around. What do we call something that goes around, back to the beginning, around, back to the beginning, and keeps on going? Ariana?
A life cycle.
Yeah, a cycle. So second graders, this is what you're gonna do in just a moment. You're gonna take your essay and you're gonna take jot.notes in the top part of this organizer where it says main idea keywords, right up at the top. I'll show you what you're gonna do, okay? So right here, animals. So I'm gonna just take a jot.note. Gosh, these are very much so main idea words. Living things and home. Okay. Okay, so now, second graders, you are gonna do this exact thing.
There's one. 7. I did get 2 good.
They have their keywords. Now, I have a feeling they're going to help me write my conclusion. Can you show me how? Okay, hold on.
So now I'm ready to write my conclusion sentence, okay? And I have my keywords up here. And my habitat is the rainforest. Okay, so here I go. Clearly, the rainforest habitat. Oh, there's already 2 words that are in my main idea keyword word box. I'm going to use both of those. I'm going to say, clearly, the rainforest habitat. I'm going to say about it. I want to say what it is or what it does. Or what it has. Let's see, I've already used rainforest. Clearly, the rainforest habitat does something. Oh, provides many basic needs to help plants and animals grow. Oh, but I'm going to use I'm going to use this to help plants and animals. Oh, I used needs. Survive. Yeah.
That is so much better than the one that I wrote at the very beginning.
Yeah.
Are you guys ready to try?
Yeah.
There, you even give me thumbs up. Using your words right here? You try it. Certainly, wetlands.
Animal.
Nice. Pop!
Clearly, deserts are very hot.
Pop!
Clearly, you can see the ocean habitat helps plants and animals live in the ocean.
Everybody give yourself a round of applause. That was amazing. And stop. I heard so many key words. And you know what, Mrs. Crane? What I noticed was Nobody wrote a boring conclusion like, that is all I know about oceans.
Not a single one.
They all went right back to the topic. They all talked about habitats and surviving.
Absolutely. When Lindsay and I plan together, I always make sure that there's going to be explicit, clear directions. I always make sure that there's going to be modeling. Always try to make sure that they understand the vocabulary and have visuals to support it, or have a place to go. I brought a lot of kids back, for example. Today in the lesson, I brought a lot of kids back. Let's go look again at that main idea keyword poster. They were stuck. They're like, I know what I want to say, but it might not have been one of their keywords that they had in their word bank, so let's use this word bank. So making sure that there's word banks, explicit vocabulary instruction has been done or is part of the lesson.
Checking for understanding,
Yep,
and
checking
that's a
for
lot easier to
understanding.
do when there's two of us, You probably notice that, one of us always went to an ELL student to make sure they understood what the directions were. So it's really nice to have two of us in the classroom to do
Yep.
that with those kids.
Graphic organizers really help ELL kiddos and all kiddos.
Is that when you walk into Park, there's a culture, there's a feel, and it's kind of one of those things that just is there, but it's there because of the teachers and because of the parents and the students and the community support we have. I think the culture is one of caring and also one of really meeting students right where they are. And so I think when we look overall, everything is about curriculum, instruction, and assessment. But then we can't forget that there's a child involved there. And so I think for us, it's about the whole child. And so how do we take curriculum, instruction, and assessment and really meet that child where they are and move them forward?